No matter how deep we dive into philosophy, there are certain cold, undeniable realities we must face as humans. 99.9% of all creatures that have ever existed are now extinct. Every species that has ever walked, swam or flew has ultimately met its end, wiped out by forces beyond their control or outcompeted by the relentless march of evolution. And yet, here we are. Against all the odds, a tiny fraction of life has persisted, adapted and evolved. In the timeline of Earth's history, extinction is the rule, not the exception. Species rise, thrive, and eventually fade away. Victims of environmental changes, predators or their own inability to adapt. And here you are. Yep, I'm talking to you, mate. At the pinnacle of this ruthless process, the descendants of those who, against staggering odds, managed to survive long enough to pass on their genetic legacy to fuel, well, let's face it, your ungrateful, boring lives. In the billions of years that we didn't exist, countless generations of animals have been killed in the most brutal ways imaginable. Slow, agonizing, confusing deaths. Our existence is no accident. It's a testament to the power of resilience, adaptation, and the innate drive to get freaky in the sheets. The world doesn't owe us survival, and history shows us that nothing is permanent. But for now, we carry on. A tiny blip in the vast, turbulent ocean of time, shaped by forces far beyond the human comprehension, and yet driven by the same ancient imperative: survive. If you were suddenly dropped into a life-threatening, hostile environment like a jungle or desert, your primal instinct to survive would take over. It would drive you to do everything you can to keep breathing on this planet, and you'd be surprised at the lengths you'd go to just to live another day. Suddenly finding fresh water or seeing a coconut hanging precariously from a palm tree may be the difference between life or death, the best day of your life or the worst day of your life. The human desire for self-preservation is deeply rooted in biology. You have to remember, although cliché, we are just animals, and well, smart ones at that. But just because we've taken over the planet, and probably other planets soon, is not to say we're exempt from the nature of reality, because quite frankly, it doesn't care about you. But if you were to strip all modern day luxuries from your life and survival was your only goal, you would likely have more meaning than ever. At the core of life, every creature's purpose is to simply pass on their genetic material using their vehicles that come in all different shapes and sizes, which is pretty friggin' cool in itself if you think about it. You know, if aliens came to Earth one day for a quick cuppa, they'd have at least 8.7 million different species of aliens to look at for the first time. A planet quite literally teeming with cosmic life. Every single creature that you've ever laid eyes on is, well, not quite a miracle, but pretty close. The chances of you being born are roughly 1 in 400 trillion. Every one of our ancestors was attractive enough to have sex, so yeah, no pressure. But in all seriousness, you are the product of a continuous chain of genetic transfer. It's important to recognise this from time to time, and even just the fact that you're alive right now. Absurdism is a tasty slice of the philosophical pie, exploring the potential that the universe as we know it is irrational and meaningless. The reason we humans can't, or at least struggle to find meaning, is because there simply isn't any. Imagine you were given a map and told to go to a destination that doesn't exist. Them, giving you a can of Pringles and telling you to be on your way, pal. Pointless, right? Although, well, Pringles are bloody good, aren't they? That's kind of what absurdism is in a very small nutshell. It's understandable as to why people may think in this way. One day in the not so distant future, you, along with everyone you know, love and hate, will be dead. Nothing matters, everybody's winging it, and yeah, life is meaningless. Existentialism is similar but slightly different. It's a philosophical movement that emphasizes the possibility that each individual is in charge of finding their own meaning in life. Although life, and well, non-life for that matter, may have no meaning in the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't stop each person from trying to find some purpose and a sense of direction in this peculiar reality we live in. The things that genuinely interested you as a child and even made you look slightly strange are often locked in a small box in the back of our brains as social norms and exterior pressures come into play. I truly believe it's important that as we get older, we try our hardest to hold on to these things that make us different and ultimately be proud of them, explore them. If you're watching this and struggling to find or do anything in life that truly captivates you, try taking a detour through memory lane and you may find some inspiration. Equally, don't be afraid to try new things. Once you come to the terms with the fact that very, very few people actually give a shit about you, it becomes a hell of a lot easier to step outside of your comfort zone. There is a rather humbling yet real possibility that you don't exist in the future you so endlessly worry about. It's completely normal if you feel like you lack any meaning in this world full of chaos and uncertainty. If you are struggling to find meaning in your life, you're not alone. Many people feel lost or uncertain at some point. Remember that meaning isn't always something you find right away, and doesn't have to look the same for everyone. Sometimes meaning comes from small everyday moments, helping others, pursuing a personal passion, or simply just being present in the world around you. Approximately 150,000 people die every single day. If it wasn't you today, then maybe tomorrow. But you need to realise that one day you will cease to exist, and you will be dead. A saying I've always tried to keep close to me as I go through life is, the more you know, the more you don't know. And it's pretty much as it sounds. The more you learn about something, the more you realise just how little you know about that topic in the first place. I mean, there's just so much you can learn about. You know, if you just scratch beneath the surface of pretty much anything, you can probably find something in there that will genuinely interest you. Try not to take life too seriously. Everyone's messed up in one way or another. We're all just trying to navigate this thing we call life. No one really understands it. If people think they do, they probably don't. It's so easy to feel lost in all the noise, searching for that one moment of clarity or purpose. But the truth is, meaning isn't something that's just handed to us. It's something we have to discover and create, redefine along the way. Keep searching, keep growing, and remember that sometimes the most profound truths are found in the spaces between the answers.